Welcome back to WagerTalk.com. This is Video Best Bets Part 2. You're going to get a video best bet from Preston and myself, and we're going to start with Preston. You're going Thursday night, NBA. You're jumping in and making an in-series bet. You're looking at the Toronto-Milwaukee. They're tied at 1-1, going back to Milwaukee. What are you looking at?
Yeah, I'm on the Bucks train or bandwagon now. So everybody, I made a tweet after that. It was late in the first game. I said, this is going to be really fun in 3 years when the Bucks are in the finals against the Warriors. But they just have so much young talent, and they're so fun to watch. That's not why I'm buying in necessarily. But I had said, if they lose Game 2 to Toronto, which I thought was likely, then I'm going to be playing Bucks series. And especially if, and I was doing a podcast, and I said, if Toronto beats them by 20 or 25 in Game 2 and just, kind of flips the switch and is able to contain Milwaukee and Giannis Antetokounmpo, then maybe I'll stay off.
You said that better than I would have.
I actually have had to learn how to say it correctly recently because now his name's going to be said forever. So
I just go with the Greek freak.
Greek freak's good too. That's what I used to say as well. But what I had mentioned was, if Toronto escapes a Game 2 at home and a must-win essentially after losing Game 1 at home, I think that's really telling. And Toronto set their franchise record for threes made in a game, and they did it by the 10-minute mark of the fourth quarter, and it was still tied late in that game, and it came down to Lowry hitting a really, really tough fadeaway. But they can't stop Giannis, and the Bucks just are so long, and Kidd has made really good adjustments playing essentially their defensive guys and saying, good luck driving the ball or getting inside. You're not going to do much inside. The one little stretch and spurt that Toronto did get inside the paint, Kyle Lowry drove the ball 3 times at the end of the second quarter. It was when Spencer Hawes got about 3 minutes of playing time. Other than that, Thon Maker and Greg Monroe have done really well. And one thing I actually really think has been a big edge off the bench, I don't recall what Monroe's first game stats were, something like 14 points and 15 rebounds. Last night I think it was like 16 and 8. When the playoffs, when the possessions slow down and you're running offensive sets and you're able to just dump it down to a post guy, which doesn't really exist in the NBA anymore. He's very good one-on-one on the post. And he's also very good if they do double, getting it to an open shooter. And the Bucks do have a few. They also shot really well from 3 in Game 2. Anyways, I know we need to get to your bet, but I really like this Bucks team. They match up really well. Similarly to like the Bulls and the Celtics, I think it is an X's and O's matchup thing. And they're home for 2, and I really think, if they win Game 3, they're slight favorites. Even at worst case at that point, if you wanted to hedge, holding plus 185 and then bet Toronto at plus money, you could do that, or bet to win your risk back and free roll one side. You have options betting series as the series progresses versus just betting the Bucks in Game 3. But I do think if you bet the Bucks in Game 3, they win. It's like -1 or -115 on the money line right now. You can pocket that. If they lose, I think you're safe betting them in Game 4. I don't think they're losing 2 at home in a row to Toronto. That's an angle I've played in the past that I think does fairly well. And if they win Game 4, then you go 1-1, and all you do is juice out. They win Game 3, you pocket the one bet that you did win. So I'm probably going to be betting them Game 3. I haven't sent it out yet, but that's kind of goes in with the plus 185 for the series too.
All right, good stuff. I'm going to go to baseball on Friday. We've got interleague action at PNC Park, my home stomping grounds. The Yankees invade Pittsburgh. It's going to be CC Sabathia against Tyler Glasnow, and I'm going against my Pirates. Couple reasons here. First and foremost, this play is all going against Tyler Glasnow. Here's a guy that, as far as prospect status and stuff, he's got good stuff. He's got some problems, mechanics. They're working with him. They're changing stuff. This is something that you don't start changing mechanics in season up at the major league level. And this is something because the Pirates didn't have a lot of options for that 5th starter that he made the roster. It wasn't until the final week of the season that they decided who the 5th man in the rotation was going to be. But normally when you have a guy with this much talent and have a mechanics problem, you send him back down to the minors where he can dominate and get confidence rather than try to do it on the fly up in the big leagues. And yeah, I'll admit I got burned on a play on Saturday because I did go against him Saturday against the Cubs on the run line because I knew that he was going to struggle with Wrigley. Gave up 6 runs in 2 innings. Yeah. I had a 6-2 lead, and I had Jake Arrieta on the mound. I think that I don't know what the math would be at that point, but I'm supposed to be winning that game more often than not. And the Pirates came back and won that game against Arrieta and the Cubs. But I'm going against him here against the Yankees. And for the Yankees, CC Sabathia, I know, he's old. They're looking for him to, that he's long in the tooth, and so to speak. But he has pitched very well in both of his, actually in 3 outings so far, and he's gotten stronger in each outing. First outing, he went 5 innings, 6 innings in a second. Last outing, he went 7 in a third. He's given up just 3 runs in 18-plus innings and allowed just 12 hits. His whip is 1.04. He's not going to put a lot of Pirates on base. I'm looking for this one. I'm going to take the Yankees, but I'm not going to get it to the bullpen. I'm going to go first 5 innings here on the road in Pittsburgh. Plus, one of the other angles I like, Pittsburgh's returning home from a road trip where they played their 2 biggest nemesis. They played the Cubs for a series where they swept the Cubs in Wrigley, and then played a series with St. Louis, and now returning home. I'm going to look to fade them in that first game. So I am going to take the Yankees on Friday night with Sabathia on the mound. First 5-inning wager for my best bet this week.
Nice. Last night, he went to my high school. He's one of my boys. So
really?
So I can't agree with anything you said. I'm not allowed to.
All right, good stuff. And guys, hey, if you want to save $10 this weekend at Wager Talk, use the coupon code PLAYOFFS and the number 10. You can save $10 on any package. Hey, use it on a weekend all-access package. Just $59. You can get complete coverage Thursday through Sunday. Use that coupon code. You can bring it down to just $49. We'll be back with more here at WagerTalk.com.